Cornerback Benjamin St Juste has been another Washington Commander defender that has been turning up Washington Commanders training camp. Prior to training camp starting, Benjamin St Juste said in an interview that his goal is to be an all-pro corner this year. Can he achieve that goal? Let's talk about it.
After 20 years, you know we back on. No more Snyder, more McLaurin. One forward with the passion, you know we scoring. FedEx field back lit, no it is not boring. John Allen lead the troops, yeah you know we storming. Burgundy and gold in my veins, yeah I bleed that. St Juste saw the ball, grab a pig, yeah I need that.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm here to talk about cornerback Benjamin St Juste and talk about can he achieve his ultimate goal, which is to be an all-pro cornerback in 2023. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new content like this to the channel. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers. Please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So, in an interview a couple of months ago, he sat down with Julie Donaldson, that being Benjamin St Juste, and he talked about his season last year and how he felt about it. It was good, you know, it was some things he wished he'd done better. Obviously, health is one of those things, but to a certain extent, you can't really control that. But he talked about his goals for the next season, the upcoming season. And he said, I want to prove that I'm an all-pro corner. You know, and when I heard that, I'm like, okay, Juice. Okay, because when we selected Benjamin St Juste, I didn't know much about him. You know, I didn't know much about him. Going back to that 2020 season for a second, our cornerback room was not the best. We had Ronald Darby, who was coming off of a really good year with us, but he chose to sign with Denver in free agency. So the only cornerback that we really had that was solid was Kendall Fuller. Greg Stroman was on that roster. I believe Danny Johnson was also on the roster too. So nobody that was really, you know, eye-breaking or, you know, somebody that was like, whoa, we got a guy. So we felt that void in round 3 with Benjamin St Juste. However, again, us selecting St Juste in the 3rd round, I didn't expect much out of him, you know, but he has definitely turned into a key contributor to this defense. You know, he's definitely turned into a potential cornerback one. I think right now Benjamin St Juste has proved himself to be a high-quality number 2 and a low-tier number 1, you know, in my eyes. I think he can go out there. He showed it last year battling with Justin Jefferson. And people want to say, oh, he battled with Justin Jefferson, but Justin Jefferson still had like 100 yards and like a touchdown. He's like, yeah, he did, but Benjamin St Juste should have had a pick 6, you know, in that game. He caused another interception early in the game. Danny Johnson, he tipped it, and Danny Johnson caught it, you know, in the back of the end zone, Justin Jefferson. So, yes, Justin Jefferson got off, but let's not act like Benjamin St Juste didn't go toe-to-toe with the best wide receiver in football, okay? Benjamin St Juste, in my opinion, has the qualities, and he has the tangibles to be an all-pro cornerback. Now, that's going to be hard to compete with, you know, because it's a minimum amount of players that make an all-pro list, but considering the fact that Jalen Ramsey is one of the best corners in football, and he's going to be, you know, out for some time. He could potentially, you know, be in that conversation. You know, obviously you got Sauce Gardner, you got Tariq Woolen, you got guys like Xavier Howard that still exist. So it's going to be hard to be considered an all-pro. But honestly, if Juice just makes the Pro Bowl this year, I'll be happy. Because, again, he has all the tangibles to be one of the best corners in football. He's tall, lanky, obviously 6'3", Richard Sherman kind of type guy. The only thing Juice has struggled with is health, you know, and obviously interceptions. But we knew from him coming out of Minnesota, he wasn't a guy that caught a lot of interceptions. He's a pass deflection guy, and sometimes a pass deflection is just as good as an interception. Why? Because you're getting off the field regardless, right? Obviously, you want to cash in and catch them interceptions, but again, I take a pass deflection over anything, you know. But just St Juste, his only goal needs to be is to stay healthy, man. I'm yet to see a full 17 game St Juste. If I could see a full 17 game St Juste, I think that's when the NFL is going to start to realize that this guy is a really good corner. Then you also look at the rest of his room. Kendall Fuller, who I believe gets hated on by this fan base too much. So you already know Kendall Fuller's yearly tradition. He's going to start out slow, but then towards like late October, early November on, he going to be lights out. You know Kendall Fuller's going to do that, right? Then you drafted Emmanuel Forbes this year. I know a lot of us didn't like the pick, but we did not like the pick because of the player. We don't have no problem with Forbes. We think Forbes could be solid. We good. But it's just people had preferences. Some people wanted, obviously Christian Gonzalez. Some people wanted to go other positions there, and you can't fault people for having their own opinion. But the more of the story is Forbes is here, and we're going to be behind them come week 1. And then you also look at the back end of that room. You got Danny Johnson, who I love Danny Johnson, man. For what he did last year, considering the fact that he had a slumming preseason, to come back and then finish the season off good like that and then get a contract extension, that speaks volumes to how they view Danny Johnson. So at worst, we know Danny Johnson's going to be a special teams guy, but he can come in and provide some depth. And then you look behind him, the young guys, Tariq Castro-Fields or Rashad Wildgoose. One of those guys is going to make the roster. I like Rashad Wildgoose. Tariq Castro-Fields cool too, but it's something about Rashad Wildgoose that I feel like if he can stay and he can learn from the older guys, and he has some potential, man. He really do. But this video is solely about Juice, honestly, but I just wanted to go over the whole room. Juice has the potential to be really good, man. Again, it's just all about health for him. It's not can he do it, because he's already proven it. He's done checked the best team's wide receiver. He's done made countless plays. I mean, look at that Eagles game. You know what I'm saying? That Eagles game, he caught the receiver, I want to say, was it Quez Watkins, that caught the pass, and instead of giving up on the play, St Juste fullback in the play and caused the fumble. Juice may not have no interceptions, but I would arguably say that he has a knack for the ball to cause turnovers and disrupt plays. Like, he hasn't physically had an interception, obviously, but he has caused some fumbles. He has caused some interceptions. I mean, look at that Texans game, right? If it wasn't for St Juste, Defoe doesn't catch that pick, right? So he hasn't physically cashed in the bank. Should have had 2. Should have had 1 in the Dallas jump, but they called a flag. Should have had 1 in the Vikings game, but they called a flag. So technically, he hasn't physically caught an interception, but we've seen countless occasions where Juice is the reason why the play evolved in a turnover, or it should have been a turnover, but it was a flag. Like, I go back to that Vikings game. We win that game. The Vikings does not come back if St Juste doesn't get called for that pick 6. And the thing is, like, if you want to say pass interference, like, I understand if y'all was calling it back and forth all game, but the fact that y'all was letting them battle, right? And St Juste gets that pick 6 and you don't call it, then it's like, all right, cool. But the fact that you called it and you wasn't calling it all game is what gets me mad about it, right? You was letting them battle all game, but practically the biggest play of the game, you allow them to call pass interference, or you call pass interference on a game where if we win that game, man, the season was already starting to turn around, because I think the week prior to that we either beat Green Bay or it was a week prior to that, but we win that game, man. Who knows what happens? Like, them Giants games don't be as severe. Like, obviously it's a divisional game, so it is severe regardless, but like, one of those Giants games, instead of that being a nail in the coffin for our season, it's not that, because we won the Vikings game, But more of the story, man, I trust St Juste on anybody's #1 receiver, and I know Forbes is the #1 first-round pick for the Washington Commanders, but I don't expect him to go out there and check the best team's corner, at least in year 1. Maybe Forbes has a good year, mainly checking. And I'm not saying at times he won't get on the wide receiver 1, because it's going to be times where he has to guard the best team's receiver. But Forbes has a really good year 1, checking the second best receiver on the team, and he does good, hold his own. Maybe in a couple years from now, he then transitions to wide receiver or cornerback 1. But right now, I think St Juste is your cornerback 1, and I trust him on everybody's best receiver. Everybody's best receiver. Honestly, I would love for Forbes to be that slot guy for right now, because Kendall Fuller doesn't have it anymore. He used to be, but he's older now. Even though he's 27, he's lost a step, and I like Kendall on the outside, So we're gonna have different packages, all right? Just because Forbes is a slot guy, it doesn't mean necessarily he's never gonna be in the slot, or just because Juice and Fuller is an outside guy, don't mean they're never gonna be in the slot. Although I would not like Juice to be in the slot, because we've seen how that experiment went he's better on the outside, and I hope they see that, and they keep him there. Now to transition to the training camp, he's been turning up Washington Commanders training camp too. I believe he had a couple interceptions. Him and Terry went back and forth. He had a couple PBUs. He obviously stepped over Cole Turner, which was like a lot of mixed emotions, because it was like, all right, Juice, I feel you, but you could have cost us a flag. That's a real game, But I think he's fun. I think he knows not to do that in a real game. I think he knows, like, in a real game, would you just do my lockup jump, So, again, I love Juice, man. He's quickly became one of my favorite players on this team, and I think he has all the tangibles in the world to be cornerback #1, and all pro corner. Again, for Juice, it's just, can he stay healthy? That's the only thing about it. And if he can stay healthy, man, the NFL is finally going to know who Benjamin St Juste is. Because I think last year with his performances against guys like Justin Jefferson, and countless other wide receiver ones, he's put his name on the map a little bit. But if he can finally go out there and play all 17 games, and perform at a high level, I fully believe that Benjamin St Juste could not only be a Pro Bowler, but put his name in the All-Pro conversation. He is going to have some interceptions, though, to his name. So let this be the year that Benjamin St Juste finally gets a couple of picks. So with that being said, it's been boy Juan Gotti. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section down below. Do you think Benjamin St Juste could be an All-Pro corner this year? Let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comment section. As always, being boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hail to the Washington Commanders. We want to roll to 6,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. See y'all later. Peace.
Burgundy and gold in my veins, yeah, I bleed that. St Juste saw the ball, grab a pig, yeah, I need that. 1999 when it went wrong, but now we gonna sound a party like it's 99. Chase young off the edge, hey, what's up, 99? The Predator's back, man, that knee is looking fine.